human flourishing is not a mechanical process, it's an organic process. And you cannot predict the outcome of human development. All you can do is, like a farmer, is create the conditions under which they will begin to flourish.
The sun is up. The milk is chilled. It's gonna be a good one. Yo, I'm rolling in my Massey on a summer's day, chugging cold milk while I'm baling hay. Yo, Valley's approach is common sense. Harmony in nature takes precedence. My ride's my pride, that's why you never see it dirty. And I love it here, man, that's why I'm never leaving early. I'm looking good in my cap and my shirt. I'm representing for the West so hard it hurts. Yeah, we make this look easy, cause we're proper modern with this farming, believe me. Wind turbines are shining, baby. In solar farming, no buts, no maybes. And yeah, we're down with the Soil Association, and we do lots of what? Conservation, sustain, maintain, it ain't a thing. We set the bar, real leaders by far. Yo Valley, we change the game, it will never be the same. Yo Valley, big up your chest, represent the West.
This isn't fictional farming, it's realer than real. You won't find milk maidens, that's no longer the deal. I'm in my wax coat and boots and proper farmer jars. Now look, you urban folks that stole our style.
Michael, I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect much from you, to be honest. You've got a really interesting quality to your voice, and you really delivered.
Cheers. Thank you. Michael, you come out, you're an IT engineer, you're dressed in your sherbet leisure wear, you plonk yourself down, and then out pops a great voice that instantly connected with the audience. It was an instant moment.
De wereld een stukje mooier maken, dat is mijn droom. Maar hoe ik dit precies ga doen, dat weet ik eigenlijk nog niet.
But I see the God complex around me all the time in my fellow economists. I see it in our business leaders. I see it in the politicians we vote for. People who, in the face of an incredibly complicated world, are nevertheless absolutely convinced that they understand the way that the world works. So the symptoms of the God complex are, no matter how complicated the problem, you have an absolutely overwhelming belief that you are infallibly right in your solution. Now,
every country on earth at the moment is reforming public education. There are two reasons for it. The first of them is economic. People are trying to work out, how do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century? How do we do that? Given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week, as the recent turmoil is demonstrating. How do we do that? The second, though, is cultural. Every country on earth is trying to figure out, how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do we square that circle? The problem is they're trying to meet the future by doing what they did in the past. And on the way, they're alienating millions of kids who don't see any purpose in going to school. When we went to school, we were kept there with a story, which was if you worked hard and did well and got a college degree, you would have a job. Our kids don't believe that. And they're right not to, by the way. You're better having a degree than not, but it's not a guarantee anymore. And particularly not if the route to it marginalizes most of the things that you think are important about yourself.
When I'm up at 7, the sunrise gives me a glimpse of heaven. I get right to work, a farmer's life can be a little berserk, yeah. This is how I roll, I feed the cattle till their stomachs are full. Treat 'em right, that's my belief. What's for dinner? I say beef.
Gotta feed everybody. Gotta feed everybody. Gotta feed everybody.
I work out.
Side. Gotta feed everybody. Gotta feed everybody. Gotta feed everybody.
I work out.
Side.
When I step to the bunk,
Yeah.
this is what I see. All the hungry cattle are staring at me. I got passion for my plans, and I ain't afraid to show it, show it, show it, show it.
I'm farming and I grow it.
It's about passion. Often people are good at things they don't really care for. It's about passion and what excites our spirit and our energy. And if you're doing the thing that you love to do, that you're good at, time takes a different course entirely. One of the real challenges is to innovate fundamentally in education. Innovation is hard because it means doing something that people don't find very easy for the most part. It means challenging what we take for granted, things that we think are obvious. The great problem for reform or transformation is the tyranny of common sense. Things that people think, well, they can't be done any other way because that's the way it's done. I came across a great quote recently from Abraham Lincoln, but he said this: "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion." I love that. Not rise to it, rise with it. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we shall save our country. I love that word, disenthrall. You know what it means? That there are ideas that all of us are enthralled to, which we simply take for granted as the natural order of things, the way things are. And many of our ideas have been formed not to meet the circumstances of this century, but to cope with the circumstances of previous centuries. But our minds are still hypnotized by them. And we have to disenthrall ourselves of some of them.
I want to help shape an education ecosystem, which is no longer driven by achieving status, but by creating value. And I have to do this. It's everywhere around me. I can't hide it anymore. I need to do this. I really found my calling, my purpose. And yesterday, I announced to my team at Layer that I will be spending the rest of my time, majority of my time, on this calling. And sorry, I'm emotional. But what am I going to do? I don't know yet.
Wat was nou eigenlijk typerend voor die beschavingen die verdwenen zijn? Die eigenlijk zichzelf het leven onmogelijk hebben gemaakt op die plek. Wat was daar gemeenschappelijk daar? En er waren twee dingen. Dat was één, het feit dat de elites, je kunt zeggen de gevestigde belangen in die samenleving, niet wilden veranderen. En het tweede was het wat ik al noemde, de overbelasting van de natuurlijke hulpbronnen. Hij beschrijft heel plastisch hoe op Paaseiland de laatste boom werd omgehakt om een nog groter heiligenbeeld op te richten. Dus eigenlijk bijna symptomatisch, symbolisch voor wat er in zekere zin in onze samenleving ook gebeurt. Dus de les die je daaraan kunt ontlenen is eigenlijk heel simpel. Soms doen zich in de geschiedenis momenten voor waarop we op nieuwe manieren naar onze eigen werkelijkheid moeten leren kijken. Waarbij we een nieuw perspectief moeten ontwikkelen op hoe wij als mensen verder kunnen.
Als je echt in die complexiteitswereld duikt, is dat het eigenlijk zo verrassend eenvoudig lijkt. Dus grote omslagen, die kunnen bewerkstelligd worden door een paar mensen met afwijkende ideeën. Een paar mensen in de juiste combinatie, meestal mensen uit totaal verschillende hoeken, die elkaar vinden. En dwars tegen het gangbare ingaan. Ik noem ze wel eens inbrekers in het gangbare. En die inbrekers, die stuiten op ongelooflijk veel weerstand. En één keer in de zoveel tijd lukt het om dus andere inbrekers te vinden en een beweging te creëren.
Zelf overvleugel de inspectiekaders met je eigen kwaliteitsvisie. En ik zou zeggen, laten we inderdaad de instellingen uitdagen om dat te doen. Want bij het mbo met name heb ik de indruk dat veel mensen in de sector de werkzaamheden van de inspectie toch nog te veel ervaren als controle, soms zelfs ervaren als een afvinkcultuur, in plaats van als iets wat hen helpt om de kwaliteit te bevorderen en tevreden studenten, tevreden werkgevers oplevert. Dat is dus de uitdaging. Dan vraagt de heer Rog, Of scholen zich dan niet beter naar de omgeving kunnen verantwoorden dan naar de inspectie. Voorzitter, ik ben het helemaal met hem eens. Het is een zin uit het regeerakkoord. Daar staat namelijk dat de scholen zich meer moeten gaan verantwoorden naar de buitenwereld. Publieke verantwoording moeten afleggen. En we hebben de discussie ook met elkaar gevoerd naar aanleiding van Amarantis en alles wat daar gebeurde. Een schoolgemeenschap moet zich verhouden tot de stakeholders. Tot de mensen in de school zelf, maar ook tot belangrijke partijen daarbuiten. En dat betekent dat we daar ruimte voor moeten geven. En ik wil dan ook graag onderzoeken, te beginnen bij mbo-scholen, hoe we met deze ambitie concreet aan de slag kunnen. Welke scholen?
And the reason so many people are opting out of education is because it doesn't feed their spirit. It doesn't feed their energy or their passion. So I think we have to change metaphors. We have to go from what is essentially an industrial model of education, a manufacturing model, which is based on linearity and conformity and batching people. We have to move to a model that is based more on principles of agriculture. We have to recognize that human flourishing is not a mechanical process, it's an organic process. And you cannot predict the outcome of human development. All you can do is, like a farmer, is create the conditions under which they will begin to flourish. So when we look at reforming education and transforming it, it isn't like cloning a system. There are great ones, like KIPS, it's a great system. There are many great models. It's about customizing them to your circumstances and personalizing education to the people you're actually teaching. And doing that, I think, is the answer to the future.
Babylonian.